Well, so welcome again to this session. This is the second session for the day. So in the first one, actually, we had a discussion and lots of discussion, in-depth discussion with respect to what we call accounting aspects of branch data system. We are going to continue with that, but we are going to supplement it with some practicals now, actually. So open down your material, and we are going to take one question just to support it with some practicals so that we can have a firm control over it. So we pick up question number 8. In fact, this is the first question we are starting up with. Not a very tough one. So you have been able to grasp something, what we call as far as data system is concerned. So 2-3 interesting what we call points were there, that how this particular account represents the net profit figure. You should be in a position to prove to somebody that how we derive actually net profit out of it. And now we are picking up this question, not a very tough one. It's simple, it's elementary. Question number 8. So with the help of this format, I am going to do this question, correct? Question number 8, I am picking up. This is the second session of the day. So question number 8. Question number 8, now we are picking up. Correct? Now the question number 8 states that from the following details, prepare a branch account in the books of head office. Please pay attention. Name of the method is not written. It is just written actually that we are supposed to prepare a branch account. So if the question states that you should prepare only branch account, it means actually that you have to follow branch data system. Is it clear? So question sometime is quite silent with respect to what we call method. So if the question is silent, then in that case it is better to adopt data system. Written down here, goods sent to branch at cost. So head office send goods costing rupees 50,000 to branch. So you will write 50,000 on the debit side of branch account. You will prepare in the books of what we call head office, of course, and then you are going to write what? 50,000 rupees. So 50,000 worth of goods have been sent. You are going to write it on the debit side. Your entry will be branch account debit to goods sent to branch account. It is easy for you. Now goods returned by branch at cost. I told you sometime branch returns goods back to head office. So now you are going to write it onto the credit side of branch account. You will simply write here by goods sent to branch account returns 3,000. So whenever we are going to receive something back from the branch, we are going to put it onto the credit side. Then it is branch credit sales. So you have to exercise caution that it is a transaction which is taking place between branch account and branch debtors account. So that is the reason actually that this particular transaction will appear only in the branch account. So branch credit sales are worth rupees 51,000. 51,000. 51,000, you are going to write it over here. Then we have got cash sales at branch. We just talked about the fact. Remittances. Remittances has got two important facets. One is cash sales. Cash sales is given to you. In this case, cash sales are 2,500. So you will write here cash sales 2,500. Correct? Now, cash received from debtors is not given, but it is given to us that cash remitted to head office by branch is 45,000. Cash remitted by head office to branch. It is given to you that branch has made remittances to head office worth rupees 45,000. And we are very well aware of the fact that remittances has two facets. Remittances, we know very well that remittances has two components. That is cash sales and cash received from debtors. Cash sales and cash from debtors. Isn't it or not? cash from debtors. These are two significant facets. Now, total remittances have been given to you, that is worth rupees 45,000, and your amount of cash sales happens to be 2,500. So it means share of cash from debtors is 42,500. This is given to you directly in this question, and you have got this figure. So this is the figure you drove out of this particular statement. So cash from debtors is 42,500. Now we can write it here. Cash receipt from debtors 42,500, and now we can write in the outer column 51,000. How much? 45,000, sorry. 45,000, that is total amount of remittances. Now, it is important to understand that cash receipt from debtors also comes in what we call branch debtors account. So cash receipt from debtors 42,500 you will also write here. Correct? Now it is given to you in this question, expenses paid by head office. See, actually it is given that expenses paid by head office. Expenses paid by head office, you will have to analyze it this way. You will have to analyze that head office sent cash to branch, correct? And branch paid the expenses. You will have to interpret it this way round. Head office sent cash and branch spent the amount. Is it clear to you? Even though it is written here that expenses paid by head office, honestly speaking, head office will not pay the expense. Expenses will be paid by branch only. So you will have to presume it this way round, that head office must have sent cash to branch and branch then must have spent the amount. Is it clear to you? So when head office will send cash, you are going to write it on to the debit side here. So expenses is amount of expenses 10,000. So you are going to write here 10,000. Is it clear? And it should be clear. 10,000. Now it has been given to us discount allowed by branch. Discount allowed to customer, of course, by branch. Now discount allowed to customer is 1,800. So in this question, 1,800 is the discount, and this is a transaction which takes place between head office and branch office. No bad debts are given, no sales returns are given. Now, it is also given then it is written that closing stock with branch at cost. Now we know that closing stock is written down in the branch account. Now the amount of closing stock is 17,000. So 17,000 you would write here, 17,000, correct? Then we have been given closing balance of debtors 7,700. So 7,700 you will also write here. In this question, there is no balance of plant, no opening balance of stock or debtors so far. So far I am talking about. Correct? Closing balance of debtors is also written in the branch debtors account. Now you have completed all the transaction. Now the first step which you must understand is, before you tally this account, you must make sure that all the figures related to debtors, such as opening debtors, cash receipt from debtors, and closing debtors, should be present in this account before you can tally it. Now if you will look closely, you will find that opening balance is not given in this question. So now this account will be very helpful for you. You can find out the opening balance through this particular account. So I will tally it now, and the balancing figure will be the missing figure. The missing figure is opening debtor. So this figure 1,000, this is the balancing figure. You can derive it from branch debtors account. Is it clear to you? And then you are going to write it over here. You need not require to waste your time in finding out the opening balance of stock. If opening balance of stock is given, it's fine. If it is not given, you need not require to do any mental exercise. Is it clear to you? Only thing is that you need to be sure of the fact that all items related to debtors should be present in this account. If there would be any missing item, that can be traced down from branch debtors. Is it clear to you? So now you can tally it, and this will be your what we call net profit. So net profit will be 11,700. I think yes, it is actually. You can tally it of your own. It's not a big problem. 11,700 is your net profit. So not a very tough question. You can manage it very well. It's just elementary one. Now, we will pick up another question, that is question number 5 actually. Question number 5, please pay attention. Should I rub it off? Why? Because it is already solved in your book. So you should give me this, what we call liberty, that I should write it off now. Question number 5 now I'm picking up after question number 8. Question number 5. In question number 5, it is given to you that from the following particulars, prepare a branch account showing the profit or loss from the branch. Now, opening stock is 15,000. In this question, opening stock is given 15, so you are going to write it as part of opening balance, isn't it or not? 15,000. Then it is given to you goods sent to branch 45,000. So you will write here goods sent to branch 45,000. Then you have been given expenses 5 plus 2, 7,000, and before that actually amount of sales is given. If you have gone through the question, you would find actually in this question opening and closing debtors are not there. Got my point? If in a particular question opening and closing debtors are not given, always presume that this branch deals only in cash sales only. There are no credit sales. If opening and closing debtors are not given, always presume that branch does only cash sales. No credit sales are done. Is it clear? So that is the reason in this particular question, I need not require to prepare debtors account. You need not require to prepare debtors account. Correct? In this question, no debtors account is required. Is it clear? No debtors account is required in this question. Why? Simple. Because opening and closing debtors in the question is not given. So there will not be any transaction related to debtors. Is it clear to you? That means there will not be opening debtors, there will not be closing debtors, and of course, there will not be any cash sales, any cash receipt from debtors, sorry. So the figure of sales which is given to us, correct, in this particular question, which is 60,000, it means it is cash sales. There are no cash receipt from debtors in this question, so 60,000 will be the amount of remittances. Is it clear? 60,000 will be the amount of remittances. Then expenses, it will always be presumed that whatever expenses are there, cash has been sent for the same by the head office. So you are going to write to cash, expenses 7,000. Then closing stock is also given. It's a very elementary question. 10,000 is your closing stock. So you will write the amount of closing stock down here. Closing stock is 10,000. No goods return has been given in this question. Correct? Now, what I am supposed to do, because the question later on states that branch manager is entitled to 5% commission on the profit of the branch after charging such commission. So first of all, what I will do now, actually, I am going to tally this account. From this total, I am subtracting only this much of Correct? So this much of part. After subtracting this much of part, I can say my net profit is actually how much? That is 60,000 minus 67. So my net profit at this moment is 3,000. 3,000, this is net profit. But this profit which I have been able to compute now, this is nothing but, this is your net profit before commission. Net profit before commission. This is your net profit before commission. Net profit before commission. Now, in this question, it is given that branch manager is entitled to some commission. Branch manager is entitled to commission. Now, you can compute branch manager's commission. There are two approaches. Approach 1. Under this approach, how would you compute the branch manager commission? Suppose branch manager commission is X. Suppose branch manager commission is equal to X. Branch manager's commission is equal to X. Then net profit after commission will be equal to this much. Then net profit after commission, net profit after commission will be equal to 3,000 minus X, isn't it or not? And branch manager's commission will be, branch manager's commission will be 5% of this amount. 5% of 3,000 minus X. So branch manager's commission will be equal to this. And you have presumed branch manager's commission is equal to X. So now you have an equation. Equation is that branch manager's commission has been presumed as equal to X. And it should be equal to, that is branch manager's commission should be equal to 3,000 minus X. So either I can solve it this way round. If I am going to solve it this way round, I will get 143. Or approach 2, this is first approach and this is second approach. Under second approach, I can simply write 5 by 105 into 3,000. So obviously you are going to love this one because it will save your many steps. But just to elaborate the point actually, because some students unnecessarily create confusion that why we have written 105 below. In fact, this steps, we will reach this step when we are going to solve this equation. So ultimately we are going to what we call reach at this particular stage. So that is the reason branch manager's commission will be 143 and net profit will be this much. So that is 2857. So 2857 will be the amount of what we call Is it clear to you how we are going to actually compute after taking cognizance of question number 5? Then we are going to pick up another question. It is not a tough one again actually. Now this question is, you can do question number 3 of your own. You should be in a position to do well. I am taking question number 4 just for simplicity's sake. Correct question number 4 just to elaborate the point a little bit further. Question number 4 now. in the books of head office. I will need a little bit of extra space, so I will have to reframe the account. This is the title, in the books of head office, and we are preparing branch account. So question number 4 now we are picking up. This question is not of very tough level. Again, it's very elementary, to be very honest with you. So in this question, just to actually elaborate one point with respect to petty expenses, in fact, we are picking up this one. So big brothers this time are having head office at Delhi and branch is in Kolkata, and the following are the transaction of the head office with the branch for the year ended 31st of August 2002. So opening stock given to us this time. So first of all, we are going to write opening balances. Opening balances in the form of opening stock is given. So opening stock is 30,800. 30,800. After having written down the balance of what we call opening stock, then there are debtors. Debtors are 16,500. So you are going to write now 16,500. Debtors 16,500. 16,500. The moment actually you are going to write debtors, you should be extra careful that you shouldn't let it escape out of your memory to write it down to the debit side of debtors account. So write down over there, by balance brought down 16,500, because it's not a comprehensive double entry system. So we need to show little bit of alertness with respect to what we call transactions which are influencing the debtors account also. Now we have got petty cash. Actually, this is the word you have heard a lots of time, and even you know that it's a real account. It's a real account, petty cash actually. But it will require some discussion, which I will do later on. At this moment, since it's the balance is given, I am going to write here petty cash. Petty cash balance is given to you as 500. So I have just written down over here 500. Then goods supplied to the branch. Goods supplied to the branch signifies that this year head office sent goods to branch. Goods supplied to branch. Goods sent to branch account. Amount given to you is 1,51,200. So you are going to write down here 151,200. 151,200. Then remittances from branch are also available in this question. So you are going to write here by remittances. Remittances has got two facets. One is cash sales. One is cash sales. Amount of cash sales given to you in this question is 10,500. So you can directly write in the outer column, no problem. 10,500. And then realization of debts. Realization of debts means cash from debtors. So you realized from debtors this much of amount. cash from debtors. So again you are going to put it on the outer column. That is 1,57,740, 157,740. Now, cash from debtors will also be written down over here. Cash from debtors. Cash from debtors given to you 1,57,740. 1,57,740. After posting it at proper places, now the next one is amount sent to branch. Now look very carefully actually. This time head office is sending cash and it is clearly given that cash is being sent to meet one salary, that is 7440. 7440. Second one is rent 2,400. Rent 2,400. And then we have petty cash. Actually head office is sending some petty cash also. Now amount of petty cash in this case happens to be 3,000. So I will talk about petty cash just in a short while actually. Just hold on for a while, then I will explain the point. In fact, I will have to explain the point because the point I was looking for is given in the next sentence. It is petty expenses of the branch 2750. See here. Just a while ago, or should I say in the last session, when I talked about the non-cash expenses, depreciation, I told you actually we simply can't write depreciation down over here. Reason being is that actually under this particular accounting system, we do not prepare real accounts separately. Similarly, if real accounts are not being prepared separately, then petty expenses cannot be written here directly. The point, try to understand the point. If we are not preparing any real account, then I cannot write the depreciation. Similarly, if I am not preparing petty cash account, which in fact happens to be real account, then I cannot write expenses directly under it. But at the same time, without bringing down the amount of expenses in this account, we shall not be able to find out our net profit. So it becomes imperative for us to actually find out the amount of net profit. Then how do we so? First of all, before we elaborate this point, you must understand actually two things. At the initial stage, I told you actually that all the expenses of the branch shall be met by head office, no doubt about that. In fact, now I am redefining my earlier wordings. All the major expenses of the branch shall be met by head office. Remember, earlier I didn't use the word major. All the major expenses of the branch such as salary, wages, rent, insurance, advertisement charges shall be met by head office, no doubt about that. Now, suppose head office is in Delhi and branch is in Bangalore and a particular client comes in the what we call Bangalore branch office. Now, in order to entertain that client, suppose if I want to purchase a Campa-Cola or say Pepsi, now would it mean that actually that branch manager will give a telephone and give a ring to what we call head office and ask them to show your ATM number because we want to entertain what we call our client and we want to withdraw 10 rupees. That is not possible and it is not feasible also. Isn't it or not? Because it's a very small expense. So in order to meet small expenses, as you know, petty expenses, general policy is that head office keeps some balance with the branch. That is known as opening balance of petty cash. So petty cash is basically meant to meet down petty expenses. No problem in it. Everyone knows about that. Now, why actually it requires a little bit of discussion? Now, please pay attention. For example, now I am going to write the closing balances. When I am going to write the closing balances, so I will have to be a little bit alert in the sense that when I am going to write the closing balance of petty cash, I will have to write it this way around, petty cash. See here, I will write opening balance opening balance of petty cash given to you is actually 500. Correct? One thing about that. This is the opening balance. Now look carefully into the question whether any further petty cash has been sent by head office or not. If it is, then add here. Plus petty cash sent. Petty cash sent. Now if petty cash has been sent, you are going to add it. So it means now total petty cash available with the branch manager is 3,500. Isn't it or not? Total petty cash available with the branch manager is 3,500. Is it clear? Now it is given to you petty expenses of the branch manager. Now there is a slight difference between branch expenses and branch manager's expense. Branch expense is a term for which head office will always send the cash. Is it clear? For branch expenses, head office will always send the cash. But as far as branch manager's expenses are concerned, it signifies amount is spent by branch manager out of petty cash available with him. Is it clear to you? Branch manager's expense signify amount is spent by branch manager out of petty cash available with him. Is it clear to you? So, now what I am going to do, I am going to subtract amount is spent, or simply I can write petty expenses. Amount is spent by branch manager. Petty expense means amount is spent. You can directly write amount is spent. So amount is spent by branch manager is, as given to us in this question, is 2750. So 2750 I will subtract and I will write the closing balance here. Now you have to be extra careful to note down the thing. Ultimately, I have to show here closing balance. Opening balance of petty cash will be reflected here, and any further cash which has been sent by the head office will also be written down over there, no doubt about that. And closing balance will come here. When we are writing down 500 and 3,000 on the debit side and 750 on the credit side, it means we are effecting treatment of 2750. Is it clear to you? That means indirectly we are showing only petty expenses. Is it clear to you or not? Now, if it is clear to you, then we can move a little bit further. So that was the discussion with respect to petty expenses. Now the next point is closing stock. Now let me see actually whether it is visible in your screen or not. Yes, it is. So closing stock is 23,150. So I will write here closing stock. Closing stock 23,150. 23,150. Closing stock. Then we have been also given sundry debtors. Sundry debtors. Balance of debtors is 50,460. 50,460. And closing balance of debtors will also be written down here. Closing balance 50,460. Correct? Now, since all the what we call transactions have been incorporated, now the next step is to tally it. I just told a moment ago that before you tally this particular account, you need to be absolutely sure that all the what we call facets related to debtors are reflected over here. What I mean to say is that opening debtors are there, cash receipt from debtors are also present, and closing debtor is also there. So it means all the three facets are present. So I need not require to what we call tally branch datas, no, right now, because there is no missing figure. I can directly tally it and get my result. So now I am going to tally it. So my net profit will be 30,760 as per the solution. 30,760 as it is. So 30,760 will be your net profit. Correct? However, if you want to tally branch account, you can do so, but this time the figure which you will get, correct, will not be written anywhere else because there is no missing figure in this case. Suppose if I am going to tally this account, then what figure I am going to get? 157,740 plus 50,460 minus 16,500. That is 1,91,700. Now could you let me know actually what this figure will be? 191,700. This will be called credit sales. And you know better than I actually that credit sales are not reflected what we call in the branch account. Is it clear to you? So that is the reason actually that this figure will be not of much help for us in this particular question. So if nothing is missing with respect to datas, we can directly what we call tally our branch account without an iota of doubt. So now after having done question number 4, you should, as I have already told you, attempt question number 3 of your own. Question number 5 I have done for you. Now you are in a position to do question number 6 also, and now you should also be in a position to do question number 8. Then you should do which question? You can manage question number 12 also, though question number 12 is not very tough. In fact, you can manage it very well. So as far as what we call question number 12 is concerned, it should not give you any trouble. I'm quite hopeful about that. And what about, well, so as far as question number 12 is concerned, I have seen it actually. You should be in a position to do it because now one account, just have a look over line number 4. Cash received on ledger accounts. What does it mean? It means cash received from debtors. Why? Because I have already told you that under this particular system, head office maintains only one ledger. Besides the branch account, only one ledger. Which ledger? Sales ledger. Sales ledger means accounts of debtors. So that is the reason actually that cash received on ledger account is nothing but your cash received from debtors. So that is the only line which could have had given you some sort of trouble, but after what we call having known about that, this question should be a cup of coffee for you, especially if it is solved, and you become very happy when you find the question is solved, because the moment I am going to appear in the next class, most of you are going to say we have already completed the homework. The fact might be that 90% chances are there that none of you might have had completed because question is given in a solved manner. But anyway, you should be very, very honest to you. You are pursuing a very high profile course. I keep on telling actually you are what we call, your parents are what we call spending lots of money on you. So you need to remember that you have to come up to their expectations. Correct? So for that you need to remain honest to you. Remember, it is a very tough task. It is easier to stay honest to others, but it is very, very difficult in this life to stay honest with oneself. And if you are able to inculcate this art, then I can assure you that you will be the most happiest person in this world. So with this saying, I'm going to end today's session, today's class, and then we are going to hold down a meeting with you in the next session. So as always, the time has come to say goodbye, good night, Shabba khair. And then we are going to what we call hold down a meeting on Monday because today is Saturday. jelly. So just like